So here we are, viewers. This is slightly Shambolic Safari, the Test Valley Motor Enthusiast 2023 weekend away. This is the famous bridge at Bickley in Devon. We're sort of near Tiverton. It's a very ancient bridge and looks a bit tight to get two cars down there. Also, this corner is almost completely blind, which is interesting. But as you can see down there, most of the people arrived. We're not actually staying here ourselves this weekend. This is the main base of operations, but we're staying at Tiverton ourselves in a little cottage in the middle of nowhere, which is very nice. So what we'll do, this is the first day. It's Friday the 12th of May, and we'll just go and see what other cars have been brought along, just very quickly. I don't think we're even going to have too many parts of this. It will just sort of depend on what we get up to, and that's not necessarily confirmed at the moment. But we have got some other stuff here. We'll start off with this MG8. All of these cars you might have seen on the channel before when we've done previous videos for Test Valley Motor Enthusiasts, of which we're members. Lovely blue MGA here. Well, I was maybe sort of 8 or 9 years old. I remember this friend restored one of these, and there's a picture sitting in our living room of me when I was very young, sitting in the passenger seat of one of these. This is just a 1500. It's an earlier type of one, but that is absolutely glorious. It's a nice start. It fits in really well, the place like this. Let's have a look at those Triumphs as well. So Triumph, Austin Healey, Triumph, and then Morgan, and more Triumph. 1967-68 Triumph TR250. As far as I remember, but obviously the cover's on this. This is a right-hand drive conversion. They were known as TR5s in this country, and they had the fuel injection system in them, which was also used in the Triumph 2.5 PI. Austin Healey 3000 here, 1964. Lovely two-tone. That is very shiny, isn't it, considering it's come all the way from Hampshire today. 1969-70 Triumph TR6. I forget the name of this colour. Maybe somebody can tell me what this colour is called. It's very nice, actually. I've not seen one in this colour before, but that is most agreeable. I wonder if it's still got the fuel injection system in it. Then Morgan. Forget exactly what model this is. It's a +8, okay. And it's around sort of 81, 82, something like that. Then we've got this Triumph Stag, 71, 72 registration. I think this is a 72. It's a Mark 1. But just saying, this car doesn't have the coach lines on it, whereas the Mark 1 Stag that I filmed today does actually have the coach lines on it. And this one also has the alloy wheels, which are an option. The one I filmed have the standard ones on it. But yes, there'll be a future episode on the Stag I filmed today, actually, coming up on the channel. And obviously we're here as well. The Rover is running on E5 at the moment. I couldn't get an E10 at the petrol pump when I filled up at the station the other day, so we're running on E5, and it does seem a bit livelier actually, which is interesting. Right, let's go and take a look at Welse's here. 1980-81 Triumph TR8 with the Grinnell body kit on it, this one. Which actually I think sort of suits this car quite well, to be honest. Again, with a protection, sensible idea, put the tarpaulin on. The other cars are actually down this end, so we'll walk over here and have a look. Now, from memory, I think this is a Jaguar 420. It's not a 420G, it's a 420, which was kind of like a 4.2 litre S-Type with a different front end. As you can see, the back end's very similar to an S-Type, but they still marketed the S-Type at this time as well, which is really odd. I don't really understand Jaguar's policy in the late 60s with their cars. It was all sorted out by 69 when the Daimler V8 250 discontinued. It was the last of its older type of these. But between about 65 and 69, it was just a bit of a mess, really. MG TF 2002 to 3 registration. 2 silver TFs. Wow, that one's on a personal plate, I think. It was actually quite dry here, which is a change from walking around in mud. I think that's Starlight Silver, which is the same colour as my car. Another MGA, of course. This is a 1600, so it's a later one. And of course, this is the coupe with the strangest door handles on the outside known to man. I find it really odd. That's the solution they went for. Obviously, on the Roadster, you didn't get any door handles on the outside at all. And then we've got this 1972 Wolseley 6, it's a very early one. I think this is sand glow, this colour. I can't remember exactly. And then the Rover SD1 wheels, I think you would have seen this one before. And it has a beautiful, beautiful interior that's purple. Isn't that great? This Rolls Royce, I think it's a 2025 actually. It dates from about 1930. And somebody who's driven about, I don't know, 3 hours or so all the way here today in this is something of a hero in my opinion. I would not want to try that myself. This car belongs to Glennie, organises all the social events of the club. It's a 69 Triumph Herald 1360 convertible. I've actually driven one of these on the channel. It was 68 one I drove. This is red one. The one I drove was white. Again, it used to be with all the Triumphs that they have the tarpaulins on them because the hoods might leak overnight or something. I think that's the reason why it happens. Oh, and a Morgan Aero 8. Fabulous. These are really rare. They didn't really sort of catch on, did they? They didn't make too many. Oh, and a beige leather interior as well with piping and wood. Exceptional. I think it's the newest car here actually in terms of the ones that are there. Right, I think that is it for today. Unfortunately, there was a lunch stop actually in the schedule in the programme, and we weren't able to do that because I was filming the Stag and some other cars in Somerset, so I weren't able to do that. But we are all here, and I'm looking forward to my supper. So I think we'll come back tomorrow. So viewers, it's the next day. This is Saturday the 13th, and we've come to Lynmouth and Linton. The spaces are really tiny in this car park on the Esplanade. I mean, I have reversed all the way to my parking sensors, started going continuous, but I'm still sticking out of a space. If I was in a larger car, that would be even worse. I don't know where all the others are. Now, this weekend is not a sort of prescriptive weekend. There's no kind of particular organised sort of runs on any given day. This is just one of the recommended places to go in North Devon. And I've not been here since the 1990s, and it is absolutely stunning. It's a very, very steep drop down from the top of the hills into Lynmouth. We might record some of the drive up the hill on the way out of here actually. But it's time to try the funicular railway and all sorts of other exciting things. And so we shall proceed this way, and if there's anything else interesting around here, we shall see if we can video it. Actually, I've just seen something here. Is that an E110 Corolla? Oh, it is. It is an E110 Corolla. Yes, it's the type that I filmed on No Budget Reviews back in 2021. It's a slightly earlier one than the one that I filmed, but that is wonderful. So we just went to the Memorial Hall for the 1952 flood, which was a very significant event in this area. resulted in, I think it was about 40 people losing their lives, and they actually 38 cars washed away to the force of the water. The village looks very different from what it is now. We're going to go on the Linton to Lynmouth Cliff Railway, which was built in 1888, and it works on a very interesting system. As one car goes down, it brings the other one up, and so they just kind of run very quickly. You can see just up there, there's a place where they actually meet in the middle. It's hydraulically powered as well, which is fascinating. It's a marvel of Victorian engineering. You actually pay to bring your dogs on as well. So we'll get a bit of the footage once it's going. I don't know if we're going to go on this one or if we're going to go on the next one. It doesn't take very long, it maybe a couple of minutes to do this. But yes, it's something I remember from my childhood actually doing this. So we're going to go at the front of this one. So it's been operated since 1890, it opened in 1890, built in 1888. It does feel like a very, very old London Underground carriage. Of course, the City to South London Railway, which is operated to Northern Line, opened in 1890. It's about that kind of time. Right at the top of there, you can just see the other car. And when it gets to the top, they fill the tank with water, which makes it heavy, and so it pulls this one up. Just wait till this one's ready, and then we'll go up. So you might be able to hear in the background that they're discharging the water from the tank of this one, and we will be off up there in a few seconds, I think. It's a very strange experience, this, because there's no motors of any kind. There's just these cables, and we're being pulled up by the car up there. There's the view down into Lynmouth. Right, we'll just watch this. I'll just hold this up as best I can. I'll hold this really tight with both hands. Just losing this would be an absolute disaster. Wow. I haven't been on this for about 25 years, I think. See, the best view is the back, but we are up front. There we go, the other car is going to go past. And it is actually wobbling as well as we go up. It's really strange. It's not actually a completely smooth motion, which is pretty interesting. You can see cable passing over these rollers at the bottom. So the entire length of this ride, I think, is about 90 seconds. It's not long. We're going to walk down a little bit later, and it will take us to be longer than this. When I last came, I imagine it was about £1 for me because I was a child. It's about £3.50 now for an adult, so it's not gone up that much. And rather than using a car to get up and run steep roads or walking, it's a very nice way to travel. Right, I'm just coming to the top here. Slowing down a bit. And there we are.
We're going to go back on it in a bit to go down.
So this is Linton. This is the older part of the town, I think. But the fish and chip restaurant at the bottom of the hill is beckoning, so we're going to walk down now, which will take a little while, a bit longer than the cliff railway. On a bridge where the two cars come to cross on the way down. There we are, viewers. So we're back down in Lynmouth, and here is this Swiss registered left-hand drive MGB. I think this is an early 70s one, judging by the I think these are Rostar wheels, and the roundel of doom, or the plug hole of despair as some people call it. Nice colour on this. I think it's like a fish mouth grill, so that dates it to around 1971, I think. Vinyl interior, the kind of later type instrument cluster and things. And oh yes, the interior door handles that used to be on the old Leyland DAF vans and all sorts of other related stuff. It's quite a find. So that's the end of our time here in Lynmouth and Linton. We're going to go back to our accommodation now, which is a little cottage in the middle of nowhere. We might get some driving footage now though of these incredibly steep hills in North Devon. So today is the 14th of May. And actually, for once, we've come to the same place that everybody else is in. This is Knight's Hayes Court. It's just for north of Tiverton. We'll have a look at the house and the grounds in a moment, but TR8 is here, MGA Roadster, MGA 1600 Coupe, Morgan Plus 8, Wolseley 6. They're actually all here, all lined up nicely, which is good. They obviously arrived here earlier than we did. We went to St Peter's in Tiverton this morning for the service. That's why we're a little bit later than the rest of them. This is quite an awkward car park actually. The spaces are in really weird locations, and you do have to pay, which is the same with National Trust these days, although the fellow who owns this Rolls Royce is obviously a member of the National Trust. You can see he's got 2 badges, one there and one there, so he probably won't be paying. Got one of the silver MGFs today for some reason. I found out from the owners of this TR6 here, it is a very rare colour. It's called Primrose Yellow. I think one of their friends is actually here as well with this other TR6. I don't know what really annoys me when people park the other way around with everyone else. I shouldn't be annoyed about that, but for some reason I do use because I'm a strange person. Yeah, this Jaguar 420 is actually owned by a couple who have some 1930s toll books as well, which is nice. And a TR250. You can see here, this is the first time we've seen a lot of these cars in this video with the roofs off, and it's got a cream leather interior with wooden piping, which is very agreeable. And a very sensible precaution if you have an open top car and you don't want it to go missing is to fit a little stop lock. So the owners of this Austin Healey obviously have got the right idea here. Right, let me go and find my lady wife and then we will go down to Knight's Hayes Court itself. So this is Knight's Hayes Court, which was built in the 1870s by the Gothic architect William Burgess. He was quite an interesting character. He wore medieval clothes some of the time. His designs for the interior decoration of the house were not deemed to be within the sort of budget or taste actually of the owners, the Heathcote Amory family, and so they decided to use someone who was a bit more modest. The interiors are still very lavish. It's not possible for me to show you because they don't allow filming inside the house, which is fair enough, but it is an impressive thing. You can tell that the gentleman who designed this was far more interested in doing churches, and this is the first stately home he'd done. Previously all he'd done was churches. You can see up there, it looks a bit like a sort of castle. Now I was always sure, my mother always used to tell me that this was the place that was used for the house in the 1988 children's television service for a series, Lion, Witch and a Wardrobe, The Chronicles of Narnia. I'm not entirely sure that it is though, having sort of been here. It's not listed anywhere as being such. It feels like it. if I'd been able to go to the upstairs bit of it, which isn't open to the public, I'd be able to tell you a bit more, but I don't think it is. It sort of looks like it, but I don't think it is. But it's very sort of romantic and interesting. Lloyd Yoga Consulting stickers, t-shirts and mugs are available by clicking the link to the Google form in the video description below. Right viewers, it's later on in the day and the sound of the rushing waters from the weir and the old bridge at Bickley says that we're back at the Fisherman's Court where we started the video. So it's Sunday evening. As you can see, quite a few of the people actually who were at Knightsay's Court earlier on today are here as well. One thing I forgot to do earlier on was film the stag here, which was actually there, but it was in another part of the car park. I've just spotted something here. Does this have a pantograph wiper on it or something? Ooh. You know, I forgot to actually film that when I did the Mark 1 stag 2 days ago. I apologise to some of you who are fans of Ian Seabrook's channel for that reason. But there we are, viewers. Some tasty treats, very nice location. And this has been the 2023 Test Valley Motor Enthusiasts weekend away to Bickley and Devon. So thank you ever so much indeed once again for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like us, leave a comment below, and we shall see you again soon for possibly more slightly shambolic safaris.